Hey, this is Carter Gravitt from Carbon Leaf, and I'm at Callaham Guitars today to show you how to perform the Callaham mods on a B5 Bigsby. We've got a brand new Bigsby right here, fresh out of the box, and I'm going to show you how to add all the Callaham mods to it right now. All right, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the arm. That'll be a 3mm hex wrench. On the older models, this would be a 1/8. That comes right off. I'm going to flip it over. And this would be a 2mm hex. Now this would be the 3/32 on the older models. Get that guy down. Start it with a punch. Slide it right out. Now you'll notice that the Bigsby front roller is essentially a hollow tube with a pair of brass spacers. Now while we've got it like this, I'm going to flip it over and get that guy nice and flush. And now you'll see that this doesn't sit flat by itself once you've removed the pressure. Callaham is now offering a service where you can send them your B5 and they will perform the upgrades and make sure that it sits flat so that it'll sit perfectly on your guitar. Now, the Callaham bar is solid stainless steel, as is the front roller. So you'll get noticeably increased sustain from this. Now this also fits a lot better than the Bigsby. So you're going to need to use a little bit of extra force to get that guy in there because it's nice and snug. It won't just slide out. I'm going to roll it back over. Tighten it down here. Nice and snug. This also has grooves cut for all your strings, so your strings won't slide around on the front roller whenever you've got the Bigsby in play. So there you go. There's your new front roller. The next thing I'm going to do is transfer the arm over to the 360 Callaham bracket. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch nut driver. Take this off. Of course it's spring loaded, so parts are going to go everywhere. Save that. Got my washer, spring, my last washer. Move this over to the 360. Slide that down. All right, now this is when personal preference will come into play. You can tighten this down according to your own preference, but the tighter you put it, the more responsive your trim arm is going to be. I prefer mine relatively tight because it really gives you a little bit more control over the Bigsby. And there you have it, all set. All right, now for the trickiest part, we're going to remove all these pins from the main string shaft. I'm going to use some wire cutters and I'm going to grab them right down by the base with as much as I can get, and then I'm going to roll the snips this way. You don't want to cut these things off because you won't be able to cut them quite close enough to the shaft for it to slide out. So you want to grab it, pinch it, and roll it right out, just like that. Unfortunately, you have to repeat it 5 more times. So grab it, pinch, and roll it right out of there. There we go. Oops. This one's a little trickier. I'm going to turn this one around so I can roll it the other way. There we go. Right out of there. And there we go. Now that you've got all of these removed, this will slide out very easily. And you can install the new polished stainless steel Callaham main string shaft. We're going to secure this by reattaching the arm using a 1/8 hex wrench. Now your strings will now come through these countersunk holes and wrap around, unlike using these pins. It's much easier to change your strings on the fly or just in general. Now your B5 is ready to attach to your guitar. You can set the sensitivity for your arm, and there's your brand new B5 with all the Callaham upgrades.